Hi guys, welcome back to another daily tarot card. These are your daily tarot cards for Wednesday, September 20th, 2023. Today we are pulling from the Light Sheer tarot cards. So we have the Queen of Cups. It's a great reminder, especially in the meditative state. It's like to take that time for yourself. Like, we always, like, I get caught up in watching shows and stuff like that. And it's just like, to sit there and actually do a meditation. I sat there and I was doing it last night. I was feeling a little bit sleepy and I ended up falling asleep, but I did it for a while with that meditation. It's just like allowing yourself to woosah, allow yourself to recuperate, especially if you've been like myself going go, 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 and you could feel yourself getting burnt out. It's like you need that time to woosah, to recuperate, to just, be in your energy, allow things to heal, because a lot of times when we're always go, 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 we're not getting enough sleep. We're not giving our body that time to recover. So when you get those opportunities to woos out and let yourself recover, allow yourself to do so. Do not feel guilty. I used to say, "Oh, you're so lazy," and this. It's like lazy. You worked 91 hours last week. That's not even including the unpaid breaks and unpaid lunches. So it's just like, some people are like, "Oh, but you got breaks," but it's like, yeah, but you're still in that zone. You're still in that energy, right? So it's like that's what the hours you get paid for, but it's just like to sit there and it just like allow your body, your mind, your spirit to heal, especially your spirit, just giving yourself your brain just that time to turn it off, I feel like it's like reverting back to past traumas. I'm following this Australian teacher on TikTok and she's teaching us how to, change, how we heal and how we take care of ourselves, And one of the things, like, especially with this Four of Pentacles energy, fear, worry, and doubt, it's our mind going back to a past trauma, when we call it post-traumatic stress disorder. It's like our brain immediately reverts back to that energy. And it's like being sound with yourself. And I've even said this to my kids. It's like when they go through this panic, I'm like, but what are you actually afraid of? And this is where you have that conversation with yourself. It's like your soul is speaking to your brain, your high, you know what I mean? It's like, listen, what are you so afraid of? You've been through worse, especially like in our situation where Shane had passed. We would put all the money in his account. So, we just sat there and paid like it was like the first of the month for us. So it's like, everything was put into his account to take care of those bills. And it was like when he passed, the police officer said, like, to, with the investigation and everything, they had to hang on to his items for 3 days. And he passed with his wallet. And I was just like, well, we have rent due. But thank God people had mercy on us at that time, where I immediately called my landlord and I was like, listen, this is what happened. He was at work. They're hanging on to his belongings. I said, so as soon as they get it back, I promise you I will go and take it out and give it to you in cash, because I didn't know his passwords or anything like that. So they're like, it's fine. They're like, whenever you can, just let us know what you're doing. I said, not a problem. Like, you know what I mean? But because they know every single, like, we never, that we were almost at a year being at that house where we were thinking about buying it, like rent to own. And he said, if you guys want to do that, let me know, like, at a year. And we're like, okay, let us have one winter here, like have a full season of weather, see how it goes, and then we'll go from there. And he's like, okay. So we went through everything, and we were about to, have that meeting, and obviously plans change. But it's like, I always kind of like, and I know that's where my body goes to, but it's like where she has taught us, it's just like, what is the situation? What is triggering this? We got to learn and to sit there and be calm with ourselves and say, listen, what is actually triggering us here? What is making us feel anxious? Because we have really nothing to fear at all. You're getting that with the Four of Pentacles. You're getting that, like, trying to like break. They're showing like breaking like sticks. Like there's sticks together and they're breaking them. And how easily we can break this. I feel like we're getting a lot of confirmation of that also with the Strength card. It's just like, with strength, it's like bravery, courage, strength, resilience. Don't allow this temptation to go back into depression is the word they're using. It's not even anxiety, it's depression. And it's like, you have a lot to be thankful for. We all do. Don't let one thing sit there and paint everything all one color. because it's like, it is maybe this one section, but it doesn't have to bleed out into the rest of our life. It's like, if you know what I mean, sometimes, when we start getting into like Thanksgiving and to Christmas and New Year's and Valentine's Day, we get into this like, I'm not worthy, I am this. It's like, you know what? Love the fact that, in any season of our life, that we have to love ourselves. Maybe right now you need to be single because you need to concentrate on other things in your life. When the right timing, divine timing comes for that person to come in, we do not chase, we attract. We don't force people to be in our life that don't want to be there. Don't force anything, because then you're going to sit there and you're going to rinse, wash, and repeat cycles that you're trying to break. Every person that comes into your life, yes, maybe it was a connection. Maybe this will end up being someone that's in your life for the rest of your life, as a friend. You never know. We have the key of life up here as well. But it's just like, sitting there, and it's just like, not everyone that comes into our life we have to date or this or that. Maybe they're just a grounding energy to be around. Four of Pentacles, it's like, I'm so afraid of losing something. And it's like, we have nothing to worry about. It's just like, I get like that when it's just like, I don't see things moving in the direction that I want, but it's like, changing some things, I start to see that. And I'm like, or it's like that shadow energy will come in, and it's just like, remember, it's like that new moon. We're getting into that sickle energy now. This is the cycle that Spirit has been talking about, right? They've been talking about this for a while. This cycle with the sickle in the sky. It's like, what is the cycle going to teach us? And they're showing here that everything is content. It's going across with this where she's holding her purse because she's afraid of losing something. Maybe she's afraid of losing her home, her job, her well-being. You know what I mean? I feel like more like mental, maybe you do need a break. You need a woosah, Ten of Pentacles is here. It's just like as a beautiful reminder, a very beautiful major card in the minor arcana. This is answer yes to your question, and this is a happy, content couple, a happy, content children, happy, content home life with the fur babies and multiple generational family. But it's like the key to life is that happiness. I sat there, and it's just like, Rosh Hashanah was, starting, and we're sitting there, and it's like, I unfortunately didn't put up my decorations in time for Rosh Hashanah. You see the runner there, and I'm just like, okay, that's fine. I'll get Yom Kippur up. There's no point in putting it up now because it was just like right then. I could have put it up still, but I'm like, I'll put up Yom Kippur. I can sit there, put it up, it'll look nice. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I sat there and I'm doing it. I don't force my children to do any of this. And they both stayed for the whole thing. And it was long because it's Yom Kippur and Shabbat, So it's like you're playing like, the songs that bring it in, and like the opening, and then we do the closing yesterday. So it's just like some kids, it's just like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? But I don't force my kids to any of that. And they sat through the whole thing. And I was just like, wow. I was quite shocked, and I was like, okay. I'm like, Dianu, thank you, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't have to sit there for that, But I feel like that's what they're saying in those moments. It's like, be grateful for those moments where you have those things to ground each other as a family, family meals or watching movies together or, whatever the experience is. It's like, especially as they get older, and they're becoming their own individuals with their own opinions and their own beliefs. It's just like they see, like, how much it means to mom. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, let's just sit with mom. I even told them, I was like, your belief system is your belief system. As long as you're a good person, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Their father didn't believe anything. He was still an amazing person. He had an amazing, generous heart. You know what I mean? So I've just told them, I'm like, it doesn't matter. But just don't sit there and mock. Don't sit there and, put down what I believe in. Because that's not nice. I don't ask you to come and do this. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. Go to your room, go play some video games, do whatever you want to do, But it's just like, this is my time to, and I feel like they were saying with Greta Van Fleet, there in one of the lyrics was like, passing the torch, and it's just like how the kids see that, you know what I mean? It's like they see their mother do this all the time. I've done this since they were small. Devotion every single day. It doesn't matter what's going on, Sometimes I'm dog tired and I just want to sleep, and I'm like, you know what? I had time to do this and this. It's like, they don't ask for anything, I remember saying that to my son. I was like, God never sits there and says to me, Yahweh Yeshua, oh, this is going to take so long, or I'm tired, or this, or giving excuses to help us. It's unconditional, you know? So it's just like, it's a discipline, you know? With the Page of Pentacles, 3 weeks time they're talking about this, and that moon cycle, like I said, we were talking about the crescent to the full moon was supposed to teach us something, or something's coming in here. They show the Six of Wands. You will be the victor wearing the wreath. Look at the spotlight on the individual here. You know what I mean? So it could be like, spotlight for something here. Maybe you're getting recognition for something here. I know with myself and a fellow coworker, always, praying to Yahweh and Yeshua, just sitting there and ask us, I always thank God, thank you for getting me through another week and asking me to do better. I'm not doing good at this, like save the sale or something like that at work. I'm like, sit there and help me, guide me to articulate the words that, and have the courage to do the things that I'm supposed to do, because I want to have positive conversations. I want positive feelings. So how can I switch this around? What do I need to do? What discipline do I need to bring in here so that I'm doing what I need to do, so I don't feel, a bad way, you know what I mean? To give me the confidence to do these things, you know what I mean? It's just like, I'm trying to do those things, If you don't like something, how can we switch it? How can we change it? How can I change myself? How can I change, obviously what I'm doing is not working, so I need to change something here, because I want to be a certain way, because nobody wants to, get crapped on. Nobody wants to sit there and feel like garbage. You want to sit there and always be in that high energy. Like the energy I felt this weekend, I'm like, oh, if only you could bottle this feeling forever. You know what I mean? Like that I don't know, man. It was just such a feeling, I feel like this is where they're showing with strength. Again, release all fear, worry, doubt. Let go. One of the words was depression, And it's just like, get yourself outside, sit there and do things that are fun. Sit there and enjoy this weather while we have it, before we're, inside because it's too cool, So it's just like, if this humid freaking air has been with us forever. Like, it started to get cool, and then it got humid again. It's just like, oh my goodness, But it's just like, you can see with half her face is this lion's mane, But I feel like bringing that balance in, I feel like it's like feeling off kilter a little bit, And I feel like that's where you have to bring that in. Like, what can we do to sit there and get some rest and rejuvenation? Because the wheel is moving forward. Like they said, fall, which is Saturday, the 23rd. As the wheel is moving forward, and it's going at a glacier's pace. Because we have to get comfortable with change and transformation. We have to get comfortable as things roll out. We, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't like it because like I'm good at it, and I don't want to get, if it changes, it's like I'm gonna suck at it again, and I gotta start from square one again. Like there was that situation at work, I understand where they're coming from, and I'm like, I offered a solution, but it was not seen as a solution. You know what I mean? So, or I have no idea. I never spoke to the person, so I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like letting it go slowly, just going, following the wheel as it goes. You know what I mean? Going at the pace, with the ebb and flow. Let's stop trying to fight it. Let's just go with it, It's inevitable, There's always going to be change in our life that we don't feel comfortable with, And they're showing the Ace of Pentacles here. I love, like, it's a seedling we're planting because it's got the roots. So sometimes some of us will sit there, like I know with, I think it's not called a sunflower. What is it called? It's this beautiful star flower. It's orange. It's beautiful. And I usually sit there and let it go in water, and I let it get roots. And then I put it in the dirt, and I let it grow. And most of the time it bears those beautiful star flowers. And I'm just like, oh, they're so pretty. And it has just this beautiful scent. It's like orange, like a tangerine. It's really pretty. It really highlights the greens, like its leaves and its stem and everything because of that orange color. So I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. You know what I mean? So I feel like in that, it's like we're sitting there preparing something because we want to plant this seedling and let it grow. And I feel like because Rosh Hashanah is the Hebrew New Year, I feel like it's just like, we're planting some seeds. Like, maybe you know, the way that they were playing it out is like, this is like your vision board of what you want for the year. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's the beginning of that. So like bringing in those changes, you know, like, you know, when I was learning from the Australian teacher, where it's like, she has some amazing knowledge that she shares, you know, it's like, that's where I feel like the internet becomes a very powerful, useful tool, where this is why we don't gatekeep. It's not ours to gatekeep. It is for us to share. You know what I mean? It's like, I learned, you know, the hard way of this, learn from my mistakes, like, you know, sharing with you, like, you know, when we go through anxiety attacks or panic attacks or depression, it's like, what are we really sad about? What is triggering us? What happened in our lives around this time that's bringing us into this energy that we can't articulate, you know? I feel like that's where most of the time is that we can't articulate our feelings. We're afraid to articulate our feelings because we're afraid of being judged. You know, oh, well, that's nothing. You know, I went through, okay, maybe you've been through worse. Like, you know, God bless, I'm not as strong as you, you know? But, you know, my son even taught me that. He was like, not all of us are the same, Mom. And it's true. You know, just like our children are very different, and we have to love them and nurture them and let them grow differently. You know, one is more independent than the other, which is fine. You know what I mean? But as knowing that, that's how you have to treat them. You know, respect them as individuals, you know? So it's just like sitting there and you know, even with yourself, it's just like, you're going through something. Maybe there's something that's muscle memory that's trying to bring you back to something. There's something that's trying to bring you into something that's very familiar that you went through before, but it's like, you're not the same person, and the situation isn't the same. The situation that they're reminding us of, and that's where we have to ground ourselves. It's like, this is not where it was before. You know, like when I get anxious about money, it's like, it's not like when Shane passed and all the uncertainty. This is what's coming in. This is what's going on. You're working these hours so that, you know, because food is more expensive, hydro is more expensive. So it's just like, working the extra hours brings that balance in, you know? So it's just like, you know, sitting there and be real with yourself, you know? What, you know, even if you have to write it down, sometimes like, it's just our soul saying, listen, you're doing this to yourself for no reason. You're panicking over nothing. You're depressed over not nothing, but it's just like, you got to sit there and be like, okay, it's not as bad as it was when we went through this situation. Maybe there's that date is a muscle memory, you know? If there's something around that date that's giving you that anxiousness. So it's like, don't worry about it. It's just like, you know, it's not as bad as it was in that situation. You know, this is coming in, you know. Even through that situation, you made it through, and that's the strongest thing you got to tell yourself. This situation that I lived through, you know, it was horrific, you know. Don't wish it on anybody. But it's just like, you know, you got through that. I always say, by the grace of Yahweh and Yeshua, I that was not me. I know I was on autopilot and they got me through that. You know what I mean? But it's just like, your sure strength will get you through that. And it's learning to sit there and be like, okay, in this moment, I can't control what's going on. Yes, I'm going to feel some feelings. Maybe it's muscle memory, like, you know, or it's bringing you back to a previous situation. But be like, this situation is nothing like that situation. And that's the reality of it. And that's what I have to ground myself on. This situation is different. It's not as intense or serious, but it's like, yes, it does make me feel a certain way. But I know this is coming. I know this. What is the reality of the situation? What are the actual facts of the situation? It's easy to say when you're not going through those things. You know what I mean? Because I definitely try to talk myself out of certain situations. But it's just like, you know, sometimes we have to be patient. Especially when change comes around. And it's just like, you know, maybe you don't have all the facts, you know, like High Priestess, where it's like, you don't have all the facts. Be patient until you're able to have all the facts, and then go make a decision or take action with those facts. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, like retrograde. What did we learn during retrograde? The hardest lesson for me is just to be patient. That I'm more connected to universe than I realize. The angel numbers that come in. It's like, look what they're trying to tell me. They told me just to leave it alone. I should have just left it alone, you know? So it's just like, you know, I was offering a solution. I wasn't trying to be ignorant. I guess maybe it was seen as ignorant or insubordinate or whatever it was. I wasn't trying to, you know? So I was not trying to be disrespectful at all, but maybe it was seen as that way. But you know what I mean? It's just learn. It's a learning lesson, and just don't do it again. That's how, unfortunately, some of us have to learn. We have to learn the hard way. So it's like, this is why I teach my kids. I'm trying to teach you the easier way so you can, bypass all this, so you don't have to go through that. So that's the whole thing about being a parent. I went through these same things as you as a kid, and I did the wrong thing. So I'm trying to teach you to do the right thing so you don't have to, sit there and be like, dang, I wish I would have done that differently. Every time my mom would tell me certain things, and I'm like, she was right. I would hear her. She would say X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she was so right, because she's lived through those moments. We get hard-headed as teenagers. Oh, what do they know? They're old, Well, they know a lot because they've lived through those situations, So sometimes we just have to be patient, Let the universe do what they're going to do, especially when it comes to love, I feel like sometimes they try, oh, you're alone? Well, what do you have no date for, you have no date for Thanksgiving, you have no date for Christmas or this. It's like, you don't need all of that though, Your life is so full. Maybe that's why the universe is, not bringing that in yet for you. Maybe you still got a lot of healing that you don't even realize. This is where I feel like they're saying all the love that you put out in the universe, you need to give to yourself. That rest and rejuvenation. Rest is so important. Maybe that's why your mind is going a mile a minute, because it's not getting the rest that it needs. So how do we bring that healthy habit in of rest? Instead of staying up and watching this, or Googling on the phone, it's like, put it down. Go to sleep. You may not feel like you're tired, but I guarantee you, as soon as you turn that phone off and you lay down, you'll probably wake yourself up drooling or snoring, because you're more tired than you realize. So it's like, you need that rest and rejuvenation. Allow your body to sleep, to heal. Let your mind allowed to heal. And that's where you're able to sit there and talk yourself out of situations where you get really anxious, panic attacks, or you feel depression coming on. It's like, well, what can I do to change that? Well, let's go outside some more. Let's enjoy, the outdoors before it gets too cold. We live in Canada. But, they're saying, release all fear, worry, and doubt. I feel like you're being triggered by something from the past. That's muscle memory. That's not unbeknownst to you. It's like, it's not dawning on you yet, but there's something during that time period, maybe from like you were a teenager, that you're being, your body remembers, but you just, at this moment, you can't put your finger on it. But just talk yourself down. Just say, I know there's something going on here. I can't put my finger on it, but it's okay. Everything is in a good spot. I'm good. I'm okay. I'm feeling some feelings that I don't understand or can't put my finger on, but it's okay. Nothing right now is making me fight or flight. I'm good. I'm safe. I used to do this when Shane passed away. I would get anxious because he was gone, and it's like, you have a roof over your head, you have clothes on your back, you have food on your table, you are safe. You and the children are safe. All of you are good, Gratitude. Wake it up with a grateful heart, Sit there. Yahweh Yeshua, thank you for another blessed day. Thank you for keeping us safe while we slept. Thank you for keeping us united as a family. You know what I mean? It's just like sitting there and speaking that gratitude. As the sun's coming up, I can see the sun, poking through the trees, through the branches, and it's just like, thank you, Yahweh Yeshua, for allowing me to see this again for another day. It's like that gratitude. Gratitude is the right attitude. There may be some things in our life we're not grateful for, Everybody is, It's like, why do I have to go through this hardship? Because when you get to that sweet point again, you will know that you will not be so easily allow it to slip through your fingers. Maybe we did things to, add some fuel to the fire. Just having that conversation. If you can't put your finger on it, just tell yourself, we are safe. We are safe. Everything is good. We'll figure it out. You may be picking, like they were saying on Instagram, you may be picking up the vibrations of someone else. And you're going through that. And it's just like, this is where you call back your energy. I call back my energy from every people, place, and thing that, that don't need it anymore. That's why I was saying this meditated state. And sitting there and bringing that energy back in. Do things that make you feel good. Do things that, hang around people that make you feel good. That's what you need to surround yourself with. as I was doing this, 2442, you know. Pay attention to your angel numbers. They're trying to communicate with you. What are they trying to tell you? What are they trying to bring into your life? But I feel like it's just this anxiousness. You are safe. Everything is okay. No one's trying to harm you. No one's trying to put you in danger. Everything is good. It's just maybe you're being tricked. That's where you're going to start breaking that line where your mind goes directly to that situation. It's like, we're not in that situation. So I don't need to go back to that situation. You know? This is where Spirit will remind you, you work hard. This is why they're saying you're to be the victor wearing the wreath. You work hard. You make sure those situations don't come into your life. And when it's time, like your day is off, it's time to woosah. It's time to rest. Put your legs up. Relax. You have, this is where, we talk about Shabbat. It's like you have 6 days a week to do whatever you want. On the 7th day is Shabbat. It's time for rest. If it wasn't for Shabbat, I wouldn't take a day off. This is where you got to rest and rejuvenate. Take time for you. Don't let anyone pressure you or change you for who you are. You got to listen to your body. Because when you're all run down, do you think they're going to be running by your side saying, how can I help? What can I do? Let me work your shift for you. You know what I mean? You got to sit there and look out for yourself. You got to make sure that you're good at 100%. Take your days, like a guy said, on his weekends, he lives like how he wants to live when he's retired. I love that. Bring that into your life. So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Wednesday, September 20th, 2023. May the universe bless you good. Love on yourself. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card.